Okay, so the media bias towards Xbox has been something that a lot of people have talked about for a very long time. Yet there seems to be a changing in the tides as media and Xbox took to social media to not only mock Sony fans that make fun of Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, there's a lot going on, and even Phil Spencer got involved with this troll. So let's get into this because this is pretty hilarious and insane to see the changing of the guard when it comes to media and Xbox.
Perfect.
Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on future content, hit that small bell icon. It helps the channel out a bunch. Alright, enough of that though. Let's get into this hilarious Xbox Game Pass Twitter takeover that happened over the weekend. So basically what's happening is that very influential media types are taking to Twitter to show off how great Xbox Game Pass is. And at first it turned into something that was trying to be serious, but then turned into a massive troll towards a certain group of gamers. Those gamers are the PlayStation fanboys or fanboys in general that do nothing but attack Xbox in everything they do, even when they provide gamers with so many crazy games for such a low price on Xbox Game Pass. Now this is them talking about how media types and everybody is paid to always talk about that Xbox Game Pass service. And the person to start this all off was Dustin Legary, who's a prominent member on the Unlocked podcast at IGN and has been a gaming fan for quite some time. He took to Twitter to talk about Xbox Game Pass and say that they aren't being paid to advertise for it, but he did it in a mocking way towards those fanboys that consistently attack Xbox. Here's what he had to say. Twitter is convinced that so many of us are just paid to advertise Xbox Game Pass. That's crazy. Almost as crazy as having access to hundreds of games and day one releases for only $9.99 a month. And if you're new, you can get 3 months right now for only $1. Okay, so obviously this is supposed to be a joke, and he even advertised the Game Pass service at the tail end of the tweet with a $1 buy-in. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people saw this as a joke and pretty much liked the tweet and moved on. But there were so many other people that can't stand anything positive about Xbox that took this tweet personally. So what did everyone in the media and YouTube community do? Well, they decided to basically copy the tweet and advertise Xbox Game Pass across all social media, which is something that this article talks about and reports on. That's how many people did it. Articles are reporting on it. This resulted in thousands of people copying and pasting some version of the same tweet, causing both Xbox Game Pass and hashtag Xbox Game Pass to trend. The joke being that Microsoft is astroturfing with a marketing campaign to get people to evangelize the values of Game Pass. This led to Phil Spencer himself commenting on it all. Here's what Phil Spencer had to say. We appreciate all the love the community is showing for Xbox Game Pass. Right now, motivates us to keep improving the service. Now, I'm sure when Dustin tweeted this, he had no idea it would blow up like it did. I mean, even on Twitter, Xbox Game Pass was trending across the entire platform. Massive personalities got involved and basically every single media type was involved. It turned into this comedic gold that other people that take this console war thing too serious couldn't fight anymore. That's something that I thought would never happen. Seeing people that are blatantly attacking Xbox for everything they do didn't have a leg to stand on and decided to just join in on the trend. And to see Phil Spencer be mindful of this just shows how self-aware Xbox is. I mean, Microsoft pays attention to what gamers want, and they pay attention to the trolls all over social media. And that's exactly what they did for the Xbox mini fridge, which by the way is straight fire, and I want one, Xbox, so hook me up. That meme of the Series X looking like a fridge trended like crazy. So what did Xbox do? Well, they made a mini fridge and decided to capitalize on the trolls, which to me is pure genius because the trolls are basically marketing your system and your product for you. Why not use that and make it a joke? Because if you can laugh with someone, you can be serious with someone. That's something I truly believe. And that's exactly what Xbox is doing. They aren't taking these trolls serious anymore. They aren't trying to push things down people's throats. Instead, they're taking what the fans are giving them and implementing it into their marketing strategy. So when they see Xbox Game Pass trending on Twitter, you better believe they were right there ready to advertise their product, which they did, especially when that product is Xbox Game Pass. You know, that best service in gaming by far, which can only get better. And to some extent, it's been the most important exclusive to Xbox fanbase, which is what the article talks about right here. Game Pass often does kind of feel like a piece of gospel for Xbox players as of late, the marketing campaign itself cementing itself as a meme after day one on Game Pass was uttered roughly 100 times during their E3 show. It's not a joke, however, that Microsoft has created something that its competitors seem to be puzzled by in terms of how to match it. Netflix spawned a dozen imitators in the video streaming space, all with similar content models, but Game Pass? No one has really copied the formula to the same extent, which is in part because of Microsoft's unique power position in the gaming market, but also as one of the largest companies in the world. Now, this is where things take a turn because what's being said here is extremely true. Xbox gamers have always shouted that Game Pass is amazing. It started when Xbox decided to put their first-party games day and date into the service. But even then, it was still hated on and kind of discarded. But over the last year, Game Pass has turned into a powerhouse and probably the biggest exclusive that Xbox has. I say that confidently because every single time something drops on Game Pass, people are playing it and talking about it. The service just advertises itself with the amount of content being put into it. You throw in the massive games that are planned to be in the service and you truly have something special. Which brings me to the more serious note on this topic, which is that Microsoft really created something that no one is doing. Like the article mentions, Netflix has competitors that have come and are making great content. They have competition that could hurt them in the long run, so they have to invest even more money to their service to compete with all these new services popping up. As for Xbox, they have no one, and I truly mean no one competing with them in the Game Pass feature. It's because gaming companies, 1, don't have the infrastructure to make something like that, 2, they don't have that many IPs to create original content, and lastly, they don't want to put that much money forward to it just like that. All the while, Xbox has dived into Game Pass head first, and are starting to see the massive profits a service like that could have. So much so that they bought Bethesda so they can have all these massive games coming to the platform exclusively and day and date on Game Pass. That first-party powerhouse is why other companies can't compete. Yes, even Sony, much like the article mentions right here. Google and Amazon also do not have even a fraction of the first-party presence that Xbox has at this point. Between its long-term developers and its recent acquisitions, Google is moving in the other direction completely, shutting down its Jade Raymond-led original games division. She's now making a new game for PlayStation, while Amazon has struggled badly to produce even one coherent game, many eggs resting in the basket of New World, its upcoming MMO that has altered between looking turbulent and vaguely promising. Xbox, meanwhile, has a massive roster of first-party games heading into this generation especially, and I've noted that in the next year alone, we're about to get Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, and Bethesda's Starfield launching on Game Pass within a 12-month span starting in November. And this is the main point. Xbox has the studios, servers, platforms, and everything to make Game Pass a success. And they also have the most important aspect, which is Microsoft money. That's where they break away from anyone in the gaming platform, which is something the article talks about right here when they compare it to Sony. Sony has previously commented that they don't believe it's sustainable to try to fund essentially your entire first-party catalog's development using only the subscription revenue and barely selling any actual copies of games. There's some debate about whether Microsoft's Game Pass is profitable or not, because that's what they're doing, but even if not, this is where being a trillion-dollar company comes in handy. Sony, meanwhile, views bundling PS Now with new games like Horizon Forbidden West, God of War 2, etc. as too much of a risky to their bottom line, given that they know those games will probably move tens of millions of copies sold at full price, so why bother? And there you have it. The competition for Xbox Game Pass just doesn't exist at all, which would worry some people, but after seeing what Xbox has invested into gaming and into the service, it's laughable to say the least. They know that someone will come and try to compete, so Xbox is using their head start to really push the service to heights we've never seen before. They want to get as many people on the service, and they'll grab as many gamers as possible to do it. And because of this investment and support Xbox has given, they've even turned the media around and made that bias kind of drift away. No longer do people attack Xbox over Game Pass. Even Alana Pierce and a bunch of other influencers who are awesome content creators talked about Game Pass being amazing, to the point where it's crazy to even attack it considering the amount of games and content you get on it for such a low price. In a day and age where gaming companies want microtransactions and want you to play $70 for one single game, Xbox has gone a completely different route and wants gamers to play as many games as they want. They want gamers to decide which games are worth their time for a fraction of the price. That to me is the secret to Xbox Game Pass, and it's going to be the secret to Xbox getting over the media bias hump. Let's hope it pans out this generation, because right now Xbox started the Series X generation on the right foot, and all this thing trending on Twitter and all the media talking about them is indication of that. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Do you think it's funny that people are trolling Sony fanboys? Has Xbox Game Pass forced the media to compliment Xbox? Will we see non-gamers attack Game Pass again? What else can Xbox do to turn the negative tide away from them? Does Game Pass make you want to buy an Xbox Series X console? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I'm playing Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. That game is so much fun. I do not care about the negative reviews. I don't care about the people hating on the game. I find it extremely fun with your friends. If you play it solo, it can be pretty challenging and you get a little bored after a while. But for me, gaming is a social aspect. I love gaming with people, especially my friends who I don't get to see all that much. So when we get on Xbox Live or we get on our Xbox party or even Discord and play games, that to me is the most fun I've had playing games. And that's what Dark Alliance does. Me and my buddies have been going through that game. I'm playing as Wolfgar, the big warrior, taking things out with my massive hammer, just taking enemies out, goblins, orcs, it doesn't matter. The game is so much fun. I highly recommend it. It's on Game Pass for PC, cloud, and your Series X, which I've been playing on it, and it looks insane. I really recommend it, and I was hyped for this game before it was even in Game Pass, but now that it's there, it's just that much more sweeter. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your Xbox, your PS5? Are you waiting for something? Or are you jumping into something that we don't even talk about that much? Maybe a strategy game like I've been working on with Warhammer. Let me know down below, because that's what we're here for, to talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.